Now we look at Clivias and how you can make more of what you might already have. So many of you have these in your garden and they are completely amazing. Clivias, one of our indigenous plants that create these hybrids which range from oranges to even peaches, yellows, even lime greens. And towards the end of the following season, so it's now they are busy flowering, and from last year, here we have the seed pods. And this is just saying to me, pick me and make more. Because out of a simple thing like the seed, we could possibly get 3 or 4 Clivias to grow. And that for me is just money for jam. And most exciting is that you can wait and see what colors you're going to end up with. Of course, we all know that a great part about this is that growing your own, cost-effective, hugely rewarding, and just look at all these seeds. But once you start picking, you're going to need a bit more space. Because when these guys grow up, well, I know that we're going to have bountiful, huge amounts of Clivias. So let's show you how to get them in. So here are our seeds, and this has to be one of the best parts of gardening. So little Tupperware, and all we've got to do is, and you pick the seed when it's big and plump, and you'll see that you might have lost 1 or 2. They kind of start falling off, but you want to feel it so that when you push it, that it gives, and you'll see as soon as we start opening it, and it literally is like that within one seed here, we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys. Now, we're just going to carry on doing that. I am going to keep the yellow separate. So the yellow Clivias or the peaches will give you a different color seed pod. So something to look out for. And what you can do now is, and some folks do this, some don't, is that they actually remove the little outer skin. You'll see there's a little skin over here. So this does help germination. It's very therapeutic, and once you get stuck in it, well, you could keep going for hours. So the trick with Clivia seed is to break these up as soon as possible. Don't let it lie around. Every hour that goes by that you have picked them and you leave them, so the viability of your seed starts reducing. So that's really important. So if you're going to pick a bowl like this, make sure that you've got enough time to sow them all. I've got these guys, these are my yellows, those are my ordinary oranges, and it really is simple, folks. It's a seedling tray with lots of drainage holes, and important is that we use a good aerated, but still that it holds enough moisture germination mix, because Clivias by nature want to stay moist but not wet, because we know that moisture is the key ingredient when it comes to germination, and that really is all we need to worry about. So let's get some of this beautiful stuff in here, and when I pop it in, you will see there's a mixture of palm peat in here. There's a bit of vermiculite. It's a good size, it's nice and fine, 5 to 7 mils in terms of the largeness of the bark bits, and it really is lightweight. When you are leveling it and getting your surface prepped, you don't want to force it down. You want as much air in this as possible, because that's just going to help and aid root development and germination. Now's the best part, and you will see on each Clivia seed that there will be a little pointed part and there will be a base. However, nature is so remarkable that you don't even need to worry about that. And all you're going to do is take the little guy and just pop him in. We're not covering him completely. You know, if you really are a bit nervous about it, you can make a little hole. I think a pencil does the best job. And you can just pop it in there. And you can put them quite close together, because it has been known and it has been shown that by putting seeds quite close together, that a little relationship forms with them. They almost help each other out. Whereas a seed on its own in a pot will germinate slower. Quite weird, isn't it? But fascinating at the same time. So once they're in, all we need is a good watering, and you'll see as we are watering, so the palm peat in this germination mix is really sucking it in. In terms of where you're going to put it and how often you're going to water, you want it to dry out to the point of it's still damp in between waterings. You don't want it to dry out completely, and that is the trick. So keep it in a spot where you're going to pay attention, where you're going to see it. And as a general rule of thumb, I'm going to say to you every third day is going to be more than enough. Of course, you could put this into a germination chamber. You could put a plastic packet over it if you really want to increase germination, but around here, because we're sowing it in the summer months around the whole of South Africa, this is going to be fine. And germination will take place within 3 to 4 weeks. And then, a year down the line, this is what you're going to have. So, from this point, we then pop them into just bigger pots. And you can, at this point, put them into the garden, but honestly, I wouldn't. I would rather get them secure into another size pot, grow them on for at least another year, and then you know that when you plant them either into a bigger pot or into the garden, that they're going to be tough enough and established enough just to get going. So yeah, let's do this. So when it comes to transplanting, when your clivias have got 2 true leaves or even 3 true leaves, then you know it's time to pot them up into larger pots. And remember, they don't really like being on their own, so choose a pot that can have 3 or 2 of the plants. We use the same germination mix. Gently pop them in and then fill the germination mix around them. Don't add all the germination mix in, so half of your pot, drop them in gently and then fill up around them. Good drink of water, same position, light shade, semi-shade, and they'll be good to go.